The silver alien ship landed quietly in the middle of a hidden research base on Mars. No sound, no warning. Just a smooth hum, like a breath held too long. Inside the ship, the air was cold and filled with strange machines that blinked and buzzed. In colors Earth scientists couldn't name. Dr. Karoth, a tall alien with gray-blue skin and 4 fingers on each hand, stepped down the ramp. He wore a clean white coat with shiny gloves. His eyes were dark and curious, always searching, always learning. He was one of the best alien doctors in the galaxy, known for studying new species. Today, he was here for something he had never seen before. The Martian base had sent an emergency signal. A human had been found drifting in space unconscious, injured, and alone. No ship, no memory, and no clue where he came from. The aliens brought him in, locked him inside a medical pod, and called for Dr. Karoth. "He's lucky to be alive," said an alien nurse with red eyes and metallic skin. "Or maybe we're unlucky," another whispered. "Human blood. No one knows how it works." Double quotes. Dr. Karoth ignored them. He leaned over the pod. The man inside had a deep cut on his chest. Blood had soaked through the bandage, dark red and thick. The machines showed strange data spikes of energy, strange readings, and high radiation levels. "I will begin the sample test," Dr. Karoth said. He reached out, holding a thin glass needle. Slowly, he touched the edge of the wound to collect a drop of blood. As soon as the blood touched the needle, the glass cracked. "What?" he muttered. He tried again, this time with a metal probe. The moment the blood touched the metal, steam hissed into the air. The probe melted in his hand. His glove began to smoke. Before he could pull back, the glove burned through, and a single drop of human blood touched his alien skin. Dr. Karoth screamed. It was not pain like a fire. It was worse. It felt like cold electricity crawling up his arm. The nerves under his skin twitched. He yanked his hand away, but the burning continued inside. The nurse rushed forward. "Doctor, are you okay?" Dr. Karoth held his hand tight. The skin was turning black in spots. His voice was shaky. "Quarantine this room. Now no one touches this human." The doors slammed shut. Red lights flashed, but the human inside the pod slowly opened his eyes. He looked around with a confused expression, like someone waking from a bad dream. His eyes were bright green, glowing faintly in the dark. His voice was dry but strong. "Where am I?" Dr. Karoth stared at him. "You are in a medical facility. You were found in space. Do you remember anything?" The man blinked. "No, just darkness, pain, screaming. What is your name?" The doctor asked. "Ray," he said. After a pause, I think my name is Ray." The machines began beeping wildly. Ray's heart rate was rising. His brain waves spiked. "We must sedate him," the nurse said. "No," Dr. Karoth said. "He is not a danger, not yet." But inside, the doctor wasn't sure. Something about this human was wrong. Later in the lab, Dr. Karoth examined the blood sample still sealed in a special container. It pulsed softly, as if it were alive. He scanned it. The results made no sense. Human blood should be simple plasma, red cells, white cells. But this blood had something else, something alive, a code, a message. "This is not just blood," he whispered. "It's a signal." He touched the console and replayed the data. Over and over, the blood reacted the same way. It burned. It melted, and it sent waves of energy through every surface. The doctor's hand, now bandaged and still burning, trembled. Was this human built or born? Dr. Karoth returned to Ray's pod. The human was awake, sitting up. "I feel stronger," Ray said. "Faster, like my body is waking up from something." "Do you remember any experiments?" Karoth asked. Ray shook his head. "No. Only pieces, white walls, cold rooms." A voice saying, "He must never reach full potential." Then, Silence. Kuroth narrowed his eyes. You are not a normal human. Ray's face darkened. Then what am I? Before the doctor could answer, the alarm screamed again. Another nurse burst in. Doctor, your test scanner exploded. What? Kuroth stood up, wincing from the pain in his hand. It burned through the floor. The blood, it's still reacting. It won't stop. They rushed back to the lab. The container was cracked. Inside, the blood had changed. It was glowing now, blue and red veins moving like tiny snakes. It was growing. We must destroy it, the nurse said. No, Kuroth replied. We must understand it. But doctor... Enough! Kuroth roared, louder than he meant to. His voice echoed across the room. The nurse stepped back. Your skin, it's changing. Kuroth looked down. His hand was darker now. Veins of silver ran across his arm. He touched his neck. The same veins were there. Something was happening to him. The blood had done more than burn. It had entered. Changed him. I need to speak to the council, he said quietly. In the communication chamber, he sent a message across the stars. Urgent. Human subject found with blood that is mutating organic and synthetic matter. My own body is changing. The sample is unstable. Possible biological weapon or unknown evolution. Awaiting instructions. He sent the message, but it never arrived. Back in the medical room, Ray stood beside the pod, staring at his reflection in the glass. His skin looked normal, but he felt different. He could hear faint whispers. Not from outside, but inside his own head. You are the beginning. Ray turned sharply. No one was there. You are the cure. Or the end. He grabbed the edge of the table. His hands were shaking. Shut up! He shouted. Dr. Kuroth entered, moving slower now, his breath heavy. You hear them too, don't you? He asked. Ray's eyes widened. Who are they? I don't know, the doctor said. But they live in your blood, and now in mine. Suddenly, the lights flickered. Then dash boom. An explosion shook the lab. Alarms blared. The quarantine room opened on its own. We're not alone here, Ray said. From the hallway, robotic guards ran in. One of them stopped. Its sensors turned red. It aimed at Ray. Subject too dangerous. Prepare for termination. No! Kuroth yelled. The guard fired. Ray held up his hand and the laser stopped midair, frozen like ice. Then, it shattered. Ray looked at his hand in shock. I didn't mean to do that. Kuroth stared at him. Your blood is waking up. You are not just human. You are something else. Another explosion rocked the floor. Doctor, we have to leave, Ray said. Before they kill us both. I can't go, Kuroth said. I'm infected. I won't last much longer. Ray grabbed his arm. You saved me. Now I'll save you. They ran through the hallways. The base was in chaos. Systems failing. Machines shutting down. Something was spreading fast. In the escape bay, a small shuttle waited. Ray helped Kuroth inside. The doctor's skin was pale now, almost silver. His eyes glowed faintly. You must find out what they did to you, Kuroth said. Find where? It began, Ray nodded. I will. As the shuttle lifted off, Ray looked back at the burning base. His chest tightened. He didn't know who he was, or what was inside him. But he knew one thing. This was just the beginning. Far below, deep inside the broken lab, the blood that had spilled on the floor moved again. A tiny drop slithered into a vent, and the whisper returned. The others will awaken soon. The escape shuttle floated through space, silent and cold. Ray sat near the front window, staring at the stars. He didn't know where they were going. He didn't even know who he truly was. All he knew was that something inside him had changed. Beside him, Dr. Kuroth lay on a narrow bed, wrapped in silver thermal sheets. His face looked tired, skin pale, veins glowing softly beneath the surface. He had said nothing since they left the Martian base. But Ray could see it. The alien doctor was getting worse. Ray leaned closer. "Are you in pain?" Karath's eyes opened slowly. "Not yet, but I can feel something growing inside me." Ray sat back, nervous. "Is it because of my blood?" "Yes," Karath whispered. "But not just your blood. There's something else, something deeper. Something alive." The words echoed in Ray's mind. "Alive." He remembered the whispers from earlier. He thought he was imagining them. But now he wasn't so sure. He still felt them like a soft hum under his skin, like someone watching him from the inside. "What happens to me now?" Ray asked. Karath tried to sit up. "We go to the satellite station in orbit around Jupiter. They have better labs. I might find answers there, but I must warn you." "Warn me?" The doctor's voice dropped lower. "I'm not just infected. I'm changing. And if I lose control, you must run. Don't try to save me. Promise me that." Ray looked down at his hands. "I don't want to hurt anyone." "You already did," Karath said gently. "Back at the base, the guards, the machines. You destroyed them without touching them." "I didn't mean to," Ray whispered. "That's the problem," Karath said. "Whatever is inside you doesn't care what you mean. It only wants to grow." The shuttle shook suddenly. A loud beep echoed from the control panel. "Incoming message detected. Jupiter Station, Medical Bay 9 is ready for arrival. Docking in 30 minutes." Ray stood. "We're close." Karath nodded, but his eyes were unfocused now. He was sweating, even though the room was cold. His breathing was strange, slow, then fast, then slow again. Ray reached for his shoulder. "Doctor?" Karath's eyes snapped open. For a second they were pitch black. "Don't touch me." Ray pulled his hand back, heart pounding. "I'm sorry." Karath calmed down. "It's not your fault. This thing inside me, it's waking up." The shuttle docked gently at the Jupiter station. A long white hallway opened as the doors hissed open. Two medtechs in protective suits met them. "This way, please," said one of them. They carried Karath on a hover stretcher into a sterile lab. Ray followed close behind. He looked around nervously. Everything here felt too clean, too quiet. The Kantha medtech scanned Karath. "His cells are unstable. His organs are shifting." "This is not a normal virus," Ray asked. "Can you help him?" "We'll try," the tech said. "But we need a sample of your blood too." Ray hesitated. "Why?" "To see if there's a cure," the tech replied. "Or to stop it from spreading." Ray looked at Karath. The doctor nodded. "It's okay, let them take it." Ray sat down. A robotic arm slid toward him with a small needle. He closed his eyes. The needle touched his skin, then melted. Problem," the tech muttered. Another arm came out with a special container. This time, the blood flowed, but it didn't look normal. It shimmered. It sparkled like tiny stars floating in red. "Is it alive?" one tech whispered. Ray felt cold. The whispers returned in his mind, stronger now. "Don't let them take it." He grabbed his head. Stop talking." The tech stared at him. "Who's talking?" Ray looked up, his face pale. "I don't know." Meanwhile, in the isolation room, Dr. Karath was hooked to several machines. His body temperature was rising. The skin on his arms had cracked open slightly, revealing bright silver tissue underneath. A nurse gasped. "His DNA is rewriting itself." Karath opened his mouth to speak, but instead of words, a sharp sound came out, like static, like a voice trying to form but not fully human. Back in the lab, the lead tech looked at Ray's blood under a microscope. Her eyes widened. "This isn't infection," she said. "It's transformation. This blood is not fighting the body. It's improving it." Ray's voice was quiet. "You mean, it's making me stronger?" Yes, she said. But not just that. Faster reflexes, higher brain activity, self-healing. This is beyond science. This is evolution. Ray stood up. So I was made? We don't know, the tech replied. Maybe created. Maybe changed. Ray looked toward the glass wall where Kurov lay. What about him? Will he survive? The tech hesitated. We don't know. The alien body is fighting it harder. But if the infection wins, Ray didn't need her to finish. He already knew what she meant. Suddenly, alarms blared. Code red. Isolation breach detected. They all turned to see the glass wall cracking. Inside, Kurov's body arched violently. His back lifted off the bed. Lights in the room exploded. The machine sparked. Kurov! Ray shouted. The doctor's body collapsed but then slowly stood. His eyes were glowing silver now. The door burst open. Step back, the guards shouted. Kurov walked out slowly. He looked at his hands as if confused. Doctor, Ray said. Stepping forward, Kurov looked up at him. Ray, are you still you? The doctor paused. I think so, but I'm not alone anymore. The guards raised their weapons. Don't shoot. Ray yelled. Kurov lifted one hand and the weapons flew from the guard's hands, pulled by invisible force. I can feel everything, Kurov said. The air, the blood, the atoms in this room. Ray took a step closer. You're not a monster. No, Kurov whispered. But I'm not a doctor anymore either. One of the guards tried to run. Kurov snapped his fingers and the door sealed shut. I didn't do that, he said. It just happened. Ray held out his hand. Let me help you. Kurov looked at him. For a moment his eyes softened. But then his face twisted in pain. He dropped to his knees. Too much, he gasped. The voices. They're louder now. What are they saying? That we're keys, Kurov said. To something bigger. A design. A war. Ray stared at him. What kind of war? Between those who change and those who can't. Kurov collapsed. His skin faded back to normal color, and the glow dimmed. The medtechs rushed in with stabilizers. We need to sedate him. Ray turned away, heart pounding. He had seen what the blood could do. To machines. To aliens. To him. Later, Ray sat in a private room, staring at a small screen showing news from Earth. Reports of strange events were growing, machines failing, people acting strangely, animals mutating. Something was spreading. And deep in his chest, Ray felt the same pull. You're connected to them all. The voice whispered. He stood. He had to find the truth. What was Project Red Light? What had they done to him? And why was the universe so afraid of what he might become? He looked back one last time at Dr. Kurov, now asleep in the chamber. If you survive, Ray whispered, I'll come back for you. Then he stepped into the hallway and disappeared into the shadows of the station. Ray sat alone in a quiet chamber at the far end of the Jupiter space station. Outside the window, stars floated like frozen sparks in endless black. But inside his mind, nothing was still. Thoughts twisted like storms, voices, flashes, feign, and shadows he didn't understand. He touched his chest. The blood still moved differently inside him. He could feel it now, like it had its own heartbeat. Behind him, the door opened. A short, older woman in a clean lab coat walked in. Her hair was silver, her face tired but kind. I'm Dr. Enra, she said softly. I'm the lead memory technician here. The council has asked me to help. Ray turned to her. Help me. Remember? She nodded. Yes, but be warned, Mr. Ray. Sometimes memory is not a gift. Sometimes it's a prison. I need to know what they did to me, he said. I need to know who I was. Dr. Enra gave a slow nod. Then let's begin. She led him into a small dark room, filled with quiet machines and a single chair. Sit here, she said. This Will not hurt, but it may feel strange. Ray sat. Metal pads were placed on his temples. A faint hum filled the air. The machine's lights turned soft blue. Close your eyes, she whispered. And breathe. Ray obeyed. The world around him faded. Suddenly, he was somewhere else. A white hallway, cold air. Footsteps. Was walking, but not alone. 2 guards beside him, a badge on his chest. Subject 11. A voice echoed in his mind. Test the blood again. Increase fusion. Project Red Light must be finished. More flashes. Needles. Wires in his spine. Screams from other rooms. He wasn't just a test subject. He was a soldier in training. Built. Programmed. Changed. He saw his own face in a mirror. Eyes glowing. A scientist's voice. If he ever remembers. We all die. The vision ended. Ray gasped, opening his eyes. His body shook. His skin was pale. Dr. Enra watched him closely. What did you see? They made me, he said slowly. They changed my blood, mixed it with something alien. They called it Project Red Light. Dr. Enra froze. Red Light was shut down years ago. All data erased. You weren't supposed to survive. Ray stood up. Why was it shut down? Because it worked too well, she said. The human body wasn't ready. The minds weren't strong enough. Subjects lost control. But I didn't, Ray said. She nodded. Maybe you're the first stable one. Maybe you were meant to be something more. Before they could speak again, an alert sounded. A voice rang out through the station. Emergency in isolation. Bay 9, Subject Karath is awake. Ray ran down the hall, heart pounding. He reached the window. Dr. Karath stood in the center of the room, eyes glowing again, skin shining silver blue. He looked calm but distant. Ray, he said, voice clear. I remember something. Ray stepped closer. What do you remember? I saw a world, Karath whispered. A dark world, ruins, but filled with voices, like the ones in our blood. I think that's where it came from. You saw the origin? I think so, Karath said. Not just a virus. Not just. Power. It's a code, a message. And we are the messengers. Ray's eyes widened. You mean this was never just about me? Karath shook his head. You're just the first. But not the last. Suddenly, a screen on the wall lit up. A woman in black armor appeared. Her face was hidden behind a silver mask. This is Commander Thalos of the Council Enforcement Unit, she said. Subject Ray, stand down. You are classified as Level 7. Threat. Prepare for capture or destruction. What? Ray shouted. You called them? No, Dr. Enra said, frightened. I didn't. Thalos continued. We cannot allow Red Light to return. You are too dangerous. Ray stepped back. I haven't hurt anyone. You melted a space station scanner. You froze weapons mid-air. You carry unknown tech inside your blood. Thalos sighed. You are not human anymore. Karath's voice rose. You don't understand what's inside him. This isn't a weapon. It's a signal from something older than both our species. We understand perfectly, Thalos said coldly. Prepare for elimination. The screen went black. Ray turned to Dr. Karath. What do I do? You run, Karath said. Find the Red Light facility. Find the full code. Only then can you stop this. But what about you? Karath smiled faintly. They won't take me alive. Ray hesitated, then nodded. He turned and ran. Behind him, Karath raised his hand. The floor of his isolation room shook. Wires sparked. Lights shattered. Guards flooded the hallway, but Karath stood between them and Ray like a shield. Ray slipped into a side tunnel, narrow, dark, unguarded. He followed it down until he reached a hidden escape pod. The control screen blinked. Coordinates. Last accessed. Earth, Black Sector. Facility 19. Ray stared. That's where it began. He climbed in and hit launch dot as the pod flew toward Earth. He looked out the window at the shrinking space station, dot far behind him. Explosions lit the sky. Karath's voice echoed in his mind one last time. The code lives in you, Ray. Use it before others do. Ray closed his eyes, fists clenched. He had memories now. He had a target. He had power, but most of all, he had questions that needed answers. The escape pod entered Earth's orbit quietly, like a falling shadow. Ray sat in the pilot's seat, eyes locked on the planet below. The Earth looked calm, blue oceans, white clouds, glowing cities, but Ray knew better under that peace. There were secrets, and one of them was waiting for him. Facility 19, the place where he was created, the place where Project Red Light began. The pod beeped as it neared its landing zone. An old mountain range in the Arctic Circle, covered in snow, frozen. Winds howling, hidden from the world. No cities nearby. No eyes watching. Ray pulled a thin blanket around his shoulders and waited for the cold. The pod landed with a soft crunch. The door opened with a hiss. Snow blew inside immediately. Ray stepped out. His boots sank into deep ice. The air was sharp and freezing, but his body didn't feel it the way it used to. Something inside kept him warm now. He looked around. At first, he saw nothing but snow and rock. Then his eyes caught a strange shape, metal, buried under ice. A door. Ray walked to it and brushed the snow away. A small screen blinked red. It asked for clearance. He reached out and touched the screen. To his surprise, it turned green. Access granted. The ground shook slightly. The metal door slid open, revealing stairs that led deep into the ground. Ray stepped inside. The door shut behind him. The facility was dark, cold, empty. Dust floated through the air like ash. Old lights flickered. Above, machines stood still, forgotten. But Ray could feel something, like the place was holding its breath. He followed the main hallway, guided by signs. Lab A, Test Room 4, Genetic Core. Each room he passed showed signs of damage. Broken glass, burned walls, dried blood, whatever happened here wasn't peaceful. He stopped at a large locked door marked Project Red Light, Main Core. A scanner on the side blinked blue. Ray leaned in. "Open," he said. The scanner beeped once. Then the door slid open. Inside was a large circular room filled with old lab equipment. In the center stood a metal tube, half open, with wires hanging out like broken veins. It looked like a cocoon. A memory returned. He had been inside that tube once. He touched it. "We built you to adapt," a voice echoed in his mind. "You are the first of many." He spun around. "Who's there?" "Number 1 answered, but a screen nearby lit up. A video began to play. A woman in a black lab coat stood in front of the camera. Her voice was calm. "This is Dr. Elra Tannen, project lead. If you're watching this, then Subject 11 has returned." Ray stepped closer. "You were our greatest success," the woman continued. "Your blood fused with alien code perfectly. You were stable, powerful, and dangerous." Another image flashed of Ray, unconscious, surrounded by doctors in panic. "But we made a mistake. The code was more than DNA. It carried memories, commands, and something else, something we couldn't understand. We had to shut everything down." The video glitched. Then continued. "We erased your memories, sent you away. But now you're back. Which means the code inside you has survived. And if it's waking up, then they will come." Ray's hands clenched. "They?" He whispered. The video ended with one final warning. "If the voices start speaking again, send the warning signal, or the galaxy will burn." Ray stood in silence. He remembered the voices. They had gone quiet. But not gone. He turned to the wall. A large red button sat under glass. Words above it said, "Galactic Signal Level 10 Priority Use only in extreme THREA. hesitated. If he pressed the button, the entire Galactic Council would know he was alive, that he was carrying red light, that he was the center of the danger. They would come for him, but if he didn't, what if they came anyway? A soft beep sounded behind him. He turned. A small drone floated down from the ceiling, silent, dark, and scanning. Ray raised his hands. The drone flashed red. Unauthorized subject detected. Begin neutralization. It fired a small needle. Ray moved faster than ever. The needle stopped mid-air. His eyes glowed faintly. The drone spun, confused, then exploded. Ray looked down at his hands. It's growing again. Then the whispers returned. We are close. You woke us. The door is opening. Ray clutched his head. Stop it. The voices grew louder. Warn them, or run. He looked at the red button again. Then he smashed the glass and slammed his hand down. A deep hum shook the room. The signal shot into the sky. Across Earth. Beyond the moon. Through space. Straight to the Galactic Council. Thousands of miles away. On the Council's high orbiting station, alarms blared. Commander Thalos watched a large screen light up in front of her. A glowing red signal blinked. Red light core active. EARTH, Subject 11 awake. Her officers turned to her. Ma'am. The human has activated the signal. She narrowed her eyes. Then it's true. The code survived. Should we send a fleet? She paused. No, we send one. Not a ship, she said. An executioner. Back in the icy lab, Ray stepped away from the signal platform. The lights around him dimmed. He was breathing hard. His skin glowed faintly now. His heart raced, but not from fear. He could feel the change. He was stronger. Faster. Smarter. But something else too. He could see patterns in the machines. Hear static between signals. Sense energy in the walls. Suddenly, a screen lit up again. Doctor. Enra's face appeared, her signal patched through from Jupiter Station. Ray, she said, looking panicked. We received the signal. What did you find? Ray told her everything. The lab, the code, the message, the button. Dr. Enra nodded slowly. You did the right thing. But now you must move. The Council won't wait. Ray frowned. They'll come for me. They already are. Ray looked around the lab. Then I need answers fast. There's a hidden data core, she said. Behind the chamber. Break the wall. You'll find everything they tried to hide. Ray turned to the chamber wall. He reached out and with one touch it cracked apart. Inside was a glowing blue cube, humming softly. The red light data core. He pulled it out, and everything changed. Visions hit him all at once. Worlds he had never seen. Creatures made of light. A war in space. Virus that became a mind. And him standing in the middle of it all. A weapon. A bridge. A key. Ray fell to his knees, gasping. His nose bled silver. His heartbeat echoed through the lab. But when he opened his eyes, he understood. The cold air of the Arctic lab grew heavier. Ray held the glowing blue cube close to his chest. It pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. The images he had seen were still fresh in his mind, visions of war, light creatures, and a virus that had become a living mind. His breathing was fast. His heart hammered. The red light data core was more than a machine. It was alive. Suddenly, the walls trembled. The whole facility shook like an earthquake. Dust fell from the ceiling. Ray stumbled but caught himself. Then, a voice came from the cube, soft but clear. Awaken, evolve, unite. Ray's eyes widened. The voice was inside his head. He dropped the cube. It floated, spinning in midair. Then, the lights flickered. From the shadows, footsteps echoed. Dr. Kuroth appeared. His skin was no longer pale or normal. It shimmered with silver and blue veins glowing beneath. His eyes shone like stars. Ray, Kuroth said, his voice deeper and stronger. You came back. Ray nodded. I had to. The council is sending someone. Kurof's eyes darkened. Then we have little time. Suddenly, alarms blared. The lab's doors locked tight. Intruders. Kuroth said. Ray moved to the window. Outside, dark ships hovered sleek. Black with red lights. They're here. Kuroth's body trembled. I can feel the mutation growing inside me. It's spreading. Ray frowned. Can you control it? The doctor shook his head. No. It's changing me faster than I can stop. He raised his hand and touched his chest. The skin cracked open, revealing glowing silver veins pulsating wildly. Ray took a step back. You're becoming something else. Kuroth looked at his hands. I'm becoming what the code wants. Ray felt a cold shiver. What does it want? To spread. To change. To conquer. Suddenly, Kuroth's eyes snapped wide. He grabbed Ray's arm. We must act fast. The mutation will infect everything here, and then the galaxy. Ray's mind raced. What can we do? Kuroth closed his eyes. There is a cure, but it's hidden. Deep inside the facility beyond the data core. Ray nodded. Lead the way. Together, they moved through the dark corridors. Every step echoed. Every shadow seemed alive. As they walked, Kuroth's body changed more. Veins of silver spread from his arms to his neck. His voice grew stronger, but sometimes broken by pain. Tell me, Ray said quietly. Do you remember anything from before? Kuroth looked distant. Only pieces. A world in ruins. The voice is calling me home. I think the mutation is part of an ancient race. Ray swallowed. You mean the blood? It's not just a virus? No, Kuroth said. It's a living intelligence. It chooses hosts, grows stronger. Learns, Ray shivered. Then we're not fighting a disease. We're fighting a mind. They reached a large steel door. Kuroth placed his hand on a scanner. The door opened. Slowly. Inside was a small room, glowing with soft blue light. In the center, a container held a shining vial. The cure. Ray reached out, but before he could touch it, the floor trembled. A shadow appeared in the doorway. Commander Thalos. Her armor gleamed red in the blue light. You won't escape, she said. The council gave me orders. Ray stepped forward. I won't let you destroy this place. Thalos smiled coldly. You don't understand. The mutation is a threat to all life. You're part of it now. Kuroth growled. We're more than that. We're the next step. Thalos raised her weapon. Kuroth's veins glowed bright. He moved fast, faster than Ray had ever seen. He grabbed Thalos's weapon and crushed it in his hand. Thalos backed away. Ray took the vial and ran to Kuroth. Take this, he said. Kuroth drank the cure. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the glowing veins faded. The silver returned to normal skin. Kuroth smiled weakly. I'm myself again. But the relief was short. Thalos called for reinforcements. Time is running out. Ray and Kuroth prepared to fight. They knew the war had only just begun. Ray and Dr. Kuroth stood in the cold Arctic lab, breathing hard. Outside, the black ships hovered like silent hunters. Commander Thalos's voice echoed over the comms. You cannot hide. Surrender now. Ray looked at Kuroth. We need a plan. Kuroth nodded slowly. There is one place on Earth no one knows about. A secret stronghold, hidden deep beneath the ocean. Where? Ray asked. The Mariana Trench, Kuroth said. A military base built decades ago, covered by layers of secrecy. It holds answers about red light and the mutation. Ray's eyes widened. We're risking everything. We have no choice, Kuroth said. If the council finds us here, we're finished. They moved quickly, grabbing supplies from the lab. Their bodies still carried the glow of the mutation. Though the cure had slowed it, Ray felt the whispers in his mind again, soft but urgent. The past is the key. They boarded a small stealth submarine hidden inside the facility. The engines hummed softly as it plunged beneath the ice and into the dark ocean. Hours passed in silence. Ray stared at the water around them, endless blue-black. Kuroth broke the silence. The base is ancient, but heavily guarded. We must be careful. Ray swallowed. Do you think anyone will be friendly? Kuroth shook his head. The Council controls everything. The only friend we have is the truth. The sub approached a huge underwater mountain. At its base, a massive metal door gleamed faintly in the darkness. Ray felt a chill. This place, it feels alive. Kuroth smiled faintly. In a way, it is. They entered the base. Inside, the air was stale, machines silent but still humming. Faintly, signs read, Project Red Light Archives, bioweapon testing, human-alien hybrid studies. Ray's heart pounded. Look, Kuroth said, pointing to a large holographic map. The map showed not only Earth, but other planets, distant worlds connected by glowing lines. This, Kuroth whispered, is the network of mutation. The infection is bigger than we thought. It's spreading across the galaxy. Ray's mind raced. But why? What's the goal? Kuroth tapped the map. Control, evolution, survival. The code wants to grow no matter the cost. Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed. The base locked down. Ray and Kuroth exchanged a look. They found us. The voice of Commander Thalos echoed through the halls. You cannot escape, Ray. The mutation will be cleansed. Ray gritted his teeth. We won't go quietly. They sprinted through the corridors. Doors slammed. Guards appeared. But Ray's powers stopped them frozen mid-step. Weapons dropped. They reached the central control room, where a glowing console awaited. Kuroth typed quickly. I'm downloading all the data on Red Light and the mutation. This will prove everything. Ray watched the doors. We have to hold them off, he said. Kuroth nodded. Don't let them in. The guards broke through. A fierce fight erupted. Ray and Kuroth fought side by side. Energy crackled. Metal bent. In the chaos. Ray's eyes glowed bright. He felt the mutation surge, not to destroy, but to protect. The downloaded data completed. Kuroth pulled out a small drive. Take this to Earth's leaders, he said. They need to know the truth. Ray grabbed it. Now, Kuroth said, we disappear. They ran to the sub. As they escaped underwater, Ray looked back at the base flashing. Alarms lighting the darkness. His mind was clear. The secret was out, but the war was far from over. The small submarine broke through the ocean surface under the cover of night. Rain poured heavily and lightning flashed across the sky. Ray held the data drive tightly in his hand. Inside it was the truth, everything about Project Red Light, the mutation, and the real purpose behind his blood. Kuroth stood beside him on the deck. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. They'll come, he said. Now that we escaped with the data, the Council will send their best. Ray nodded. Then we need to leave Earth. A ship waited for them at the edge of the foresta. Small one, old but fast. Ray and Kuroth climbed aboard. The engines hummed to life, and within minutes, they launched into the stars. But peace didn't last. As they reached orbit, red dots appeared on the radar. Council hunters, Kuroth said. 3 ships, maybe 4. They're fast, Ray said, gripping the controls. Too fast. Then don't outrun them, Kuroth said. Outthink them. Ray pushed the ship into a sharp dive, spinning through space debris. Lasers lit the sky around them. The ship shook. Sparks flew from the console. They hit our engine, Ray shouted. Kuroth pointed. Head to the asteroid field. They dove into the swirling belt of rocks. Behind them, the Council ships followed. Inside his mind, Ray felt the code pulse. The whispers returned. Trust the change. He closed his eyes for a moment and saw something. Paths between the asteroids. Exact routes, like a map burned into his brain. I see a way out, he said. Ray turned the ship sharply, guiding it through tight gaps, spinning past massive rocks. The enemy ships followed, but 2 crashed against asteroids. 1 remained. Ray opened a hatch. Hold the controls, he told Karoth. I'll deal with them. He stepped into the airlock. Outside, he floated in space suit. No oxygen. But his body no longer needed them. His skin shimmered. His blood glowed. The mutation had changed him. Fully, the last enemy ship charged. Ray raised his hand. A pulse of energy burst from his palm, silent and invisible. The enemy ship stopped. Mid-flight. Its systems died. Lights flickered out. Ray floated back, breathing hard. The whispers were louder now. You are ready. Back inside, Karoth stared at him. Ray, that power. It's beyond anything I've seen. Ray sat down. It scares me. But it saved us. Karoth nodded. And it may be the only thing that saves the galaxy. They flew toward a hidden moon base, deep in the outer rim. It was the only place safe enough to decode the drive and send the message to the galaxy. But as they neared the base, an alert flashed. Warning, signal detected. Council beacon active. Ray stood up. They're already here? No, Karoth said slowly. Something worse. On the screen, a new ship appeared. Huge. Silent. Ray's heart sank. That's not Council. Karoth's face turned pale. No, that's them, the ones who created the code? Karoth nodded. The original hosts. The true enemy. The whispers grew loud, angry, afraid, desperate. Ray understood. The mutation wasn't a weapon. It was a warning. And now, the ones who made it were coming to finish what they started. We don't have much time, Ray said. Get the signal. Ready. Karoth activated the base's system. Ray held the drive over the console. Data flowed into the air, holograms of planets, formulas, blood cells, ancient symbols. A voice played. To all species, this is not a virus. This is a test. And most will fail. Ray looked into the stars. The real war had arrived, and he was at the center of it. Ray stood inside the moon base's signal chamber. Blue lights flickered across his face. In front of him, the full red light data hovered in the air. Everything they had learned. The mutation, the failed experiments, the alien warnings, and the truth. Behind him, Dr. Karoth worked fast at the console. They're almost here, Karoth said. That dark ship is closing in. If it lands, this base won't survive. Ray stared at the symbols spinning in the air. They weren't just data. They were a message, a code, and somehow his mind could now read them. He whispered, "This was never a weapon." Karoth looked at him. Then what was it? Ray turned toward him. A key to a choice. Outside the window, the alien ship floated closer. Massive, quiet, and alive. It had no visible weapons, but Ray could feel its power. It wasn't just a ship. It was a mind. Suddenly, the base lights dimmed. A deep hum filled the room. The red light core began to glow brighter than ever. Ray clutched his head. The voices were back, louder than before. Angry, afraid, urging him to decide. Send the signal. Let them hear the truth. Or destroy. It bury us forever. Ray fell to one knee. Ray! Karoth shouted. What's happening? Ray looked up, eyes glowing bright silver. They're trying to stop me. He stood slowly. The red light code floated before him. He raised his hand. The symbols reacted to him, swirling, shifting, aligning into a final pattern. He saw the full truth. The code was not a disease. It was a test created by an ancient race designed to find species strong enough to evolve beyond violence, beyond fear, beyond destruction. Most failed, but some passed. And when they did, they were invited to join something greater, a hidden alliance, the real guardians of the galaxy. Ray looked at Karoth. If we send the signal, everything changes. Karoth nodded. Then change it. Ray turned to the control panel. He placed his hand on the console. The final signal began. Low pulse, a deep tone. Then a voice echoed into space. "This is Subject 11. We understand the code. We choose peace. We choose evolution. We are ready." The base shook violently. Outside, the alien ship stopped. Then, slowly, it changed shape, its dark surface turning bright, folding into a shining star-like form. Kuroth stared, breathless. "It's listening." A beam of light came down from the ship. It passed through the walls and touched Ray. He floated into the air, eyes wide, body glowing. The light scanned him not to harm, but to understand. Then a voice spoke, not from the ship, not from the air, but from within. "You passed the test. The blood was the beginning, but your choice is the signal." Ray landed gently on the floor. The light faded. The alien ship rose slowly, then vanished into the stars. The war was over before it began. Kuroth stepped forward. "What now?" Ray looked at his hands. "We rebuild," he said. "We share the truth. We stop being afraid of change." Kuroth nodded. "The council won't like it." "They'll learn," Ray said. "Or they'll be left behind." Weeks later, across the galaxy, new signals were heard. Other red light survivors came forward, hidden, hunted, waiting. Ray's message had awakened something. Hope. And on Earth, in the silence of the night sky, a new satellite was launched. Its name, the Red Light Beacon, not a warning, but a welcome. The end.